In the Austrian city of Salzburg, amidst the snow-covered mountains and the red-roofed country houses, the von Kraft family lived in an old stone house on the outskirts of the city. The house was spacious, surrounded by a small garden interspersed with pine trees that whispered in the cold wind. The house, despite its beauty, carried heavy memories that cast a shadow over the family members. Elisabeth von Kraft was a mother in her mid-40s, with cloudy blue eyes as if searching for something she had lost. Her husband, Philip, a practical man approaching 50, worked as an architect but was overwhelmed by his responsibilities. They had 2 children, Lena, the eldest daughter, 17 years old, rebellious and fond of music, and Lucas, the youngest son, 12 years old, who loved books and imagination but felt lonely. Also living with them was Mariana, the children's grandmother, crippled but a keeper of the family's history. The story began on a cold winter day. Elisabeth sat alone in the living room, with its old fireplace in the middle. The pictures hanging on the walls told of happy times, but now they seemed like distant memories that were difficult to access. Philip worked late in his office in the city, Lena came back late from piano lessons, and Lucas was isolated in his room reading an adventure book. Problems began to arise when Elisabeth felt she was losing control of her family. Philip had become a stranger to her, always busy with work. Lena constantly challenged her authority, and Lucas became more isolated, as if he lived in his own world. The atmosphere in the house was cold, not only because of the winter, but also because of the emotional distance that separated them. One night, during a tense dinner at an old wooden table in the kitchen, Elisabeth exploded, "Philip, when will you realize that we are drifting apart? The family is falling apart." Philip replied in a calm but cold voice, "I am doing all this for you. So that this house can stand." Lena suddenly intervened, in a rebellious voice, "And who said we want this house? Maybe if you had taken a break from work for a while, we would have seen more of you." After that night, Elisabeth began to reminisce about the past, when she and Philip were young lovers roaming the streets of Salzburg. She remembered how they had planned to build their dream house together and how Philip had read poetry to her by the Salzburg River. These memories made her wonder, could old love ever come back? Elisabeth decided to face her feelings head-on. One day, Mariana, Grandma, joined her in a conversation in the living room. Grandma wisely said, "Elisabeth, houses aren't just stones. They're hearts. If you don't mend hearts, no house will do you any good." Elisabeth felt the need to rebuild bridges. She invited the family on a short trip to the nearby mountains, where they used to go on their happy days. The trip was tense at first, but over time, the ice began to melt, literally and figuratively. Sitting around a campfire in the mountains, Lena revealed that she felt neglected because she hadn't found enough support for her passion for music. Lucas expressed his desire to spend more time with his father. Even Philip admitted that he had lost his sense of family because of the pressure. They returned home feeling a new sense of hope. The family began spending evenings together, telling stories and reminiscing. They gradually reorganized their lives, not just as individuals, but as a family.